Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yesterday we started with this discussion of ternary liquid extraction systems, equilibrium, and you were introduced with two systems. Or we started our discussion with this that when you bring in contact, feed, and externally introduce solvent, then there can be four possibilities, and out of those, then two were selected. Among those four possibilities, the first one was that your feed and the uh, introduced solvent can make a homogeneous solution or a mixture, and that is not the case which we require, because at the end of the day, the purpose of this technique is to get two different phases, extract and raffinate. So when there is formation of homogeneous mixture, that is not desirable. Then the second case was like when you bring in contact feed and the solvent. So there can be possibility that only solute is transferred from feed to the solvent, and like the carrier or one solvent which is already available in the feed, which we sometimes call it carrier as well solvent, which is major part of the feed stream. So that is completely immiscible with the newly introduced solvent. So these two were extreme cases. And then the third case was like yes, solute has affinity for both of like solvent, which is of like it is already part of one solvent as a feed, as well the newly introduced solvent. So, but both of these solvent, which is part of the feed as well newly introduced solvent, they can have some affinity for each other, which we call it like they are partially miscible. They will partially will be soluble with each other. So, and then the fourth case was like if sometime some of the feed is composed of such a system, like such components are there that newly introduced solvent may go for some reaction, and then you can come across formation of maybe more than two phases at the end of the day, which are partially miscible with each other. So later we concluded that most of the time when you come across the liquid extraction system, the second and the third case, they are common. And the second case was like both of the solvent in the system are like mutually insoluble or completely immiscible, and the third case was like solvent are partially miscible, partially soluble with each other. So then we discussed the derivation of distribution coefficient K, some equations to do some calculations, and they were all based on the immiscible solvent system. But then we have also started with this discussion that partially miscible solvent is the most common case which you come across. So triangular diagrams are used to study such kind of system, and because these are the commonly used systems, so let's study this in detail. So here we just discuss two things. Like for example, we took one system which was water, ethylene glycol, and furfural. This water and ethylene glycol, these were like feed. Feed consists of two components. Ethylene glycol carried with the water, and purpose was to remove ethylene glycol from the water stream by using this hydrocarbon based aldehyde based solvent, which we are calling furfural. So when you are given with such kind of the system, then basically the purpose here is to remove ethylene glycol from the water. So this ethylene glycol, when you will bring the solvent and the feed in contact, ethylene glycol actually will be distributed between both of these. Some will stay still in the with the water as a raffinate, and other will be transferred towards the furfural, and that is transferred toward the externally introduced solvent. So actually the water ethylene glycol and this furfural ethylene glycol, they are called completely miscible, like they will be completely miscible with each other, but other water and furfural, they are partially miscible with each other. So Then we have just seen that in order to solve such system, you need the triangular diagram, and I have shown you that we get this data is obtained with some experimentation of bringing in contact this feed with the solvent, and they have provided at various points data to us. The final purpose is to draw this diagram. I will come back to this today. We will look at how it is drawn, but yesterday I have also shown you that how you can draw these kind of diagram, and told you that you can download uh, such kind of a graph already available from this link, and can practice the problem or just how to draw such kind of system. So we discussed this also yesterday, that each corner or apex or vertex of triangular is a pure component. As already told you that here there are three components, for example in this system: water, trichloroethane and acetone. So uh, at that corner point, that its concentration of that component will be 100%, and then later on it will be decreasing because other component will be introduced. Also the edge is called the side of the triangle. So that is a mixture of two pure components. Which two pure components? Which are available at the apex of this edge. Like if I just select this side of the triangle, so on its edge there are two components, acetone and trichloroethane. If I will just select the bottom line of the triangle, so this side, in this side water and trichloroethane, and on the other side there is water and acetone system. So also we said that any point, if you will be talking about inside here the diagram, there will be a definitely ternary point, and all three will be involved there. So we'll look at them later. So here, like in this diagram also, I think we finished our lecture here yesterday. So as we were talking about this, like there is acetone and trichloroethane. So on this line, when you are on this side of the triangle, this edge of the triangle, so on this, when this line is representing the mixture of two components, so the third component will be definitely zero. Due to this, on the other side of the diagram, on this line, when there is a water on one end, on the other end there is acetone. So if you will be just moving along this line, on this there will be water and acetone mixture only, and the third component, which we are calling here trichloroethane, its amount will be 0% when you are just on this line. And similarly, if you talk about the bottom one, here there will be water and trichloroethane, and the other component, which is acetone, will not be here, that will be 0%. So overall you can say here acetone is 0% on this line, and on the top here it is 100%. So in between these, then there are different lines which are distributed into actually equal parts, and it will be making from here 0 up to 100%. For example, if I say that acetone is 100%, so how you can give, because here there are, by the way, three different lines in this diagram. Just ignore these main curve as well, the dotted line, the other line, which are the solid line. They are three different lines. Actually those lines are parallel to the three sides of this triangle. For example, if we just select this bottom of the triangle, so parallel to this there are number of lines inside the triangle where these I am marking this. So you can see all these are just parallel to that line, and then they are just converging. Finally you reach to one point that is at the top of the triangle. So here you reach, and you said that this point represents any component you will be mentioning here, and yesterday I advised you that you should put your solute, the component that you want to transfer from feed to the solvent, that should be put it, you should put it here, so that you can get such kind of diagram with this shape of the curve. So here, like acetone is in this case, for example, solute, and its concentration is 100%. And just opposite to this, if we look on this line, its concentration is 0%. So in between the lines are distributing between 100 to 0%, and you can just give them the number. As for example, for this line the number will be like 10 is reduced here. At the top it is 90%, sorry 100%. Then at this line, if I will be looking at this specific point along this line, it will be 90%. Guys, at the moment I'm only talking about this acetone. uh, for others I will let you know, and also will link with the yesterday's lecture when I told you that here when you are talking about acetone and trichloroethane, and if you want to look at any number here on this line, so what is the percentage of acetone as well the trichloroethane, also discuss this yesterday. So here it is 90%, but if okay you wanna say like either it is here acetone is 90% or not, from last discussion of the last lecture, if you remember, I told you that along this line there is acetone and trichloroethane. At the top it is acetone. When you just move to the this point, now acetone has reduced because we are not at that apex, at that corner. Now we are moving along this edge, and the other component will involve with this, and that is trichloroethane. And I told you that here acetone will be 90% and 10% will be trichloroethane. So you can just put here the numbers on these lines, which are just just along this line, which was at the bottom, which was 0%. So it will be like just above 10%. Then there is 20%, like 30% for acetone if we have to look at. So 30 and 40 and so on. There will be 50, 60, 70, and this is 80. So you can just write number on all of those lines. So it will be like representing 80%. In some of the diagram, you will see that like there are sometime the numbers are mentioned as a fraction. So that's not a big issue, like you know that percentage or the fraction we can write. For example, they will have 1 here at the top, that is 100%, then 0.9, 0.8, and so on. So this is for one component. If I have to put numbers for the other component, let's look at the trichloroethane. For example, here at the corner it is like 100%, and you know, just now look at the line opposite to this corner, that is just on this side of the triangle. That is 0% trichloroethane, because we know that that line only represents water and acetone mixture. So here it is 0% trichloroethane. And now if you just keep on moving inside the triangle, you can just see the number of lines which are just parallel to this line, which is where 0% trichloroethane exists. So just look at, like, there is this line, then other line, and so on. So here, and finally we will just reach to this point where it converges to like 100% of trichloroethane. So similarly you can put number for this, so it will be like 100% here, then there will be like this one 90%, 80%, 70%, 60, 50, and so on, and finally we will reach here where it is 0%. This is like you can give them the number like this on for this component, which is available 100% at this corner, left corner of the triangle. And let's look at this water now. If you know that water is 100% here, and just now I think you can easily locate where water will be 0%. Just opposite line to this corner indicates that that line, or on that edge of this, it is 0% water, and that is this side where acetone and trichloroethane only exist on this line. So you know water here will be 0%. When it is 0% here, then just you keep on moving inside, finally you reach to this point which is 100, then it's mean this line is 90, next line is 80, and 70, and so on, and finally you touch this line which is 0%. Just to give you idea that how you have to look at the values or the percentage or the concentration. For example, if after this discussion I ask you just only tell me the point for 50% trichloroethane, so how you have to locate, you know that now at this point here trichloroethane is just 100%. So just start counting from here, because you have to look, maybe you can think, okay, either I have to count for this line, maybe for this line, because here there are 3 lines from where I am telling you that you have to start counting. So you have to go in that direction where its value becomes 0% at the end of the day, and this is the only side where it is like here on this edge, on this line it is 0%, and that is always opposite to this point where that component is located. So here we will see, because we were supposed to find 50% trichloroethane, so you will just start counting from here: 100, 90, 80, like 70, 60, 50. I think I put it at the wrong place, because this is 90. Next is like 80, 70, 60, and then sorry, 50. This one should be 50. It is like 40%. For 40%, then 30, 20, 10, and 0. Yes, so it is for 40%. For 50, it will be located here. So similarly, if we have, for example, here there is, just for your information, I'm telling you because later you have to draw this diagram or indicate the point, you should be able to read. So like acetone is 100%, and we have trichloroethane as a 0%. So you know that for this acetone 100%, this is the point. Either of other component like water or trichloroethane definitely will be 0. So next point given to you is, for example, acetone is 50%, and then trichloroethane is 50%. So because you know that you have to be on this line where only two components exist, as their sum will make 100%, third component 0. It means we should be located on this line somewhere. So we just start counting from here. For acetone it is 100, then for this point if I just locate it is 90, 80, 70, 60, and this is the point where it is already located. It is 50% acetone, definitely other 50% will be trichloroethane. But let's look either here trichloroethylene is ethane is 50% or not. So just see here it was 0%. For this line was indicating 90, 80, 70, 60, and yes, for this is the line which is for trichloroethane, where it will be 50%. So just you can locate point here. So now the next part is like to locate any point within the triangle. But before I jump towards this, because now you know on the edge you can locate at the apex, you can locate the point. But as already told you that yesterday, that you can download such kind of the diagram. So here there is things are not that difficult, because the link which was given in yesterday's lecture, I've just opened that, and like you will have such kind of the page where you can download these, or you can open like triangular graph paper. I just put that link here and opened it, like two in different colors diagram are available. So here, like as I was telling you, that one component will be like 100% at the top, and then it keep on reducing. So for your easiness, here already the number they have put. But if, for example, you get such kind of graph paper in which the lines are mentioned but you don't have the number, so you can put them as well, because now you know how to allocate the number to these lines. So here, for example, it is 100%. Let's say it was acetone as we were talking about. Then you see 90%, 80%, and then if you will keep on moving opposite to that point, the side will be indicating 0%. And similarly here something was TCE, trichloroethane, that was 100%, and then 90, 80, and so on, and just keep on moving on this side, and it becomes 0 here. Similarly for the water, here it was 100, then 90, 80. These are mentioned. That's it, kind of lines just starting from this point, and just opposite to this point, the line with the parallel lines which are just opposite to this edge. So they are just like for water. So you can just download these, and if you are solving this ternary system, put your components, for example water, TCE, and acetone, and you can start then drawing the other points which are located inside that triangular diagram. Maybe sometime in the book, for example, let's go back, and one thing here, like look, the numbers are located inside on the lines, and you can easily differentiate that which line or which side he is talking about. But in the book, sometimes the diagrams are like this. For example, here look, on this now, the number are not located on the lines within the diagram, they have put it on the sides. So maybe it is confusing for you, but not that confusing for you at the moment, because you know, now if you are given this diagram and if I ask you that tell me which number is indicating the concentration of which component. So guys, it is easy to identify, for example, because here we don't know that which of the line this number is for. For example, this point 1, either it is for this line, which is at this, we can say, for example, 45-degree angle, or this horizontal line. So the easy way to identify this or to remember this, just look, there is ethylene glycol at the top. Its concentration is here, you know that 100%. So just below this next line, wherever it will be, its concentration should be 90%. And then because these lines all are with the difference of 10%, so you can see that okay, it is 100% here, it means its concentration should reduce, and here it is like 90% on this line, 80% on this line. So you can very easily identify that it is 90%, so it is for ethylene glycol. Next, this is 0.8 and so on. So value of ethylene glycol are given, or you can say these are values for these horizontal lines. Right, what about this number now? Next, 0.1, for example, we don't know for which component it is. So as you know that along this line only two components exist, ethylene glycol and the water. In this case, like they only exist along this line because this line shows a binary mixture of two components. And when we know that like only there are two components along this line, and ethylene glycol numbers already we have allocated somewhere else, so definitely these number will be for water. And let's say either is it correct or not. So just look for water, it should be 100% here. Then if we keep on moving along this line or this line, because along the water you can move to the either side. So either maybe some of you will be thinking the concentration which are mentioned at the bottom, they can also be for the water, but no, just look, water is here 100%, so it can't be 10%, just one point next to that. It is always 10% less, and that is 90%. So it's mean these are the number for water, 90, 80, 70, and so on up to 10%. And then there is for this peripheral, definitely now third one left is for peripheral, so anything for this is given here at the bottom. So definitely it will need some practice, and then you will be able to quickly locate the line that for which component, which line I have to follow, and then I have to mark the point inside the diagram. Just before I go for all the points, let's look at this point which you have to mark inside the diagram. And that point is like you are given, this is for ternary point, because concentration here is making 100% with the help of all three components. And I told you already that any point where all three will be involved, it means that is included inside the triangle, that will not be at the apex or the edge of the triangle. So let's look where this point will be located. Let's try to find it. So here first of all we will locate one by one all of these components which are indicated, and where all three will be like intersecting each other, that will be our point where we have to put this, or this composition which is given will be indication of that point. Let's say like here you have acetone 46%, and just try to locate the line of 40% acetone first. As I told you that when you are given such kind of composition, you have to locate all three, and that intersection point of all three lines of those composition will be that point. So acetone is 100% at the top, and you know that when you will keep moving along this, then its value will be reducing. So here 90, 80, 70, 60, and then 50, and next line is 40 here. This is for 40% acetone, and above one is for like 50% acetone. So in between here there should be the line for 46%. So we have put one line just for the 40% acetone, which is indicated with the green. Okay, next now let's look at the second, water. So water, water is 100% on this corner, and on the opposite side it is 0%. So let's start counting from here. Like here water is 0%, this line next will be 10%, 20%, like 30%, and then there is a line for 40% of the water. So we will draw a line this which is indicative of 32% water. So I have put here this red dotted line for water. So up to here you will have drawn two of those. Now third one is still left, and that is trichloroethane. For trichloroethane, we know that this is 100% at this point, and maybe we can start counting from here. Otherwise easy is because it is only 22%, so it will be located here on the other side of the diagram. So here it is 0%. Next, this line is for 10% trichloroethane. Next line is for 20% trichloroethane. So next is 30%, as you have 22%. So you will just draw the line here, and when they are intersecting, this is your point for the given composition. So let's say, as we have already seen, the sum component, if something is 100%, definitely that is located at the main apex at that corner. And if it is like only two components, they will be located somewhere on this triangle. But if all three are involved, they will be definitely located inside, anywhere inside the diagram. Like for example, here another is shown to you just for practice, in which you have a solute that is 0.45, and here you can see at the top there is a solute, and which is indicated with the blue. So just look at where like this 45% will be located. So now here some of you will be, you can get confused. So due to this, I say kindly practice it as much as you can. Because here when you guys are visually locating, some can say, okay, these are the solute concentration, but no, solute concentration are on this side, because here look, here it is 100%, then it should decrease along this line, not increase. So here on this side it is decreasing, so you can see that we will reach to 50%, like 40%, and because it is 45%, so here there is a line for this 45%, which is like blue line here. So next is solvent is only 8%, 0.08 means only 8%. And let's see where solvent is located. Solvent is located on this side of the diagram. Here it is 100%. So just its value should reduce now. So you can see here on the bottom side, its values are given 90%, 80%, so on. Then you read that this is 10% for solvent, and then we will draw a line which is indicative of 8% of the solvent given with this red color. So next is 48% carrier. So here we will look at that, what 48% carrier, where it will lie. So just see carrier, here it is 100% at the corner, then its value should reduce. So these are the numbers for that one. So here you will see somewhere where it is 48%. So just you will locate that point, and that point will be indicative of this what you are given. So now come back to that from where we started. Actually, in the yesterday, like we have this table given to you, and the data is given. So overall, I have this for your information divided it into two like this parts. You can say some part is purple rich and other is water rich. And you know that purple were here the solvent which was introduced externally, and water was part of the feed. So it's mean purple rich stream or solvent rich stream, you know that is called extract. And anything which was a carrier inside the feed and something rich in that component is called raffinate. So this is indicative of raffinate compositions, and other is indicative of like extract side composition. So like this is the diagram which is drawn with the help of these points. So we will quickly locate one or two this for your information, and later you can just after lecture kindly practice that how other points are located on this triangle, and either they are correct or not. So I will just start with the first point. You can see here purple is 95% and water is only 5%. So it's mean, first of all, glycol here in this case is 0%. So when glycol is 0%, it's mean there is at this point given here is the binary mixture where only two components exist. So we will try to locate the line which is binary mixture of furfural and water, and that is the bottom line you can see, because glycol is solvent and that is at the top, so both of the solvent will be at well, that is solute, sorry, glycol is solute, that is at the top, and other solvent will be at the bottom. So just see the point we have to look at on this diagram, and that should have 95% furfural and water as a 5%. So look guys, here furfural is 100%, and then there is line for this, it is 90%, and so on. These are just lines with this angle greater than 90%, or for this, so like around 130, 135 you can say, so angle for these. So these are for furfural, and we know that for furfural it is just 95%. So let's see where 95% should be, definitely between 100 and this point. So here let's say it is the point here, 95%. So what will be other 5%? Definitely will be water, here 5%. So this is the first point where this like curve is starting. You can see here this curve overall miscibility boundary where it is written, this is curve on which it is mentioned one side is extract and other is raffinate. So first point to draw this overall, this curve is this point where one is 5%, other is 95%. Although I told you, okay, 95% are furfural, either water is 5% here or not, we can easily find that, because here look, water is on this corner 100%, and there are lines for the water 90%, 80%, 70, and so on. So this line which you can see here coming to here, like at this point, this is for 10% of the water. So if we have to look at for 5% of water, definitely between here 0% of water and this, it will come here and will be intersecting this at the same point. So definitely this is the point where we are just starting at. So this is first point, and let's also quickly look at the last point, then we will discuss any of point inside 1 or 2 point and then move forward. So either that is correct or not. So here look, this one is furfural is 7.7% and water is 92.3%, and this should be definitely the last point on this like curve on the other end. So look, either it is correct or not. So here water is 92.3%, so it's mean definitely this line again, because these are two components. So like say water is 100%, and then water is like 90%. So our point is 92.3. So it's been like here after 90, 91, 92, somewhere here where he located is, I think fine, like here there will be line for 92.3%, and the other component that should be like 7%. So definitely this is the point, because for binary mixture. But quickly, if you want to see, like you can see here are these are the number for the furfural, and it was 10% at this point. This is the line for that which is going above, like intersecting at that point. This is for 10% furfural, because on the other end here it will become 0. So between 0 and 10 we have to locate 7.7%. so if you just draw the line for this for 7.7%, more or less it will be intersecting it here at the same point where we located already the water, and this is the point. So inside this, let's see some other point quickly, so either they are correct or not. So there is one point for 44.4% of both of furfural and ethylene glycol, and 11% water. So let's look at this point quickly. So first of all, we will start with like ethylene glycol, 44.5%. So at the top, ethylene glycol was 100, then its concentration was reducing. Here I told you already, this is 90 for glycol and 80 and so on. Our point is 44.5%. So here it is like 50 and other is 40. So in between here there will be something called 44.5%. So you will look at like, so it is not that straight line, I'm just drawing it like mouse. So you will put here straight line which is indicative of 44.5%, and that is for ethylene glycol. The other is furfural, that is also 44.5%. So let's look at that, and there is like here this solvent is like 100%, and then you can see that its value is decreasing along these numbers, and we can locate somewhere here it should be like 44.5%. So we will draw this line from here, and then there will be last, because these two are intersecting somewhere definitely, and the third one should also pass somewhere where all three will be intersecting. That will be the point of concentration. 11% water. So let's see where water is. Water is 100% on this edge, and here it is 10%, which means it should be 11%. And if you will draw the line, it will also will pass somewhere from the same point. So here, more or less we are, although I have drawn very roughly, but still we are located somewhere, we are intersecting these three lines at somewhere on this curve, which is already drawn with the help of these points. So how this curve is drawn, when you are given these kind of concentration, you will keep on locating various points inside this. This is not continuous curve because you have maybe maximum 10 to 12 points here. So just keep on locating them. For example, here various points where all three were intersecting, and then you will join them and you'll get this kind of curve. On this curve, one thing is important to tell, like raffinate and extract. You know that extract is that phase which is rich in purple. So if you keep looking from here the table, wherever purple is more in amount as compared to water at any point, that is for extract side. So that this side is indicative of that, where purple is usually high in amount. So that is the extract side, and other is the raffinate side. And this curve is called miscibility boundary, or the binodal curve, they also call it. So these two phases, which are extract and raffinate, they just keep on moving, and finally they reach to some point which we are calling flag point, PLAIT here, flag point. So I will just define this point. What does this mean? So miscibility data is represented by this miscibility boundary curve, which we have seen. It is also called, they call it binodal curve. So here I have asked you a few questions. If you can tell me the composition of M inside the diagram. Now you are not given the points to locate, you are already given the M and ask you this M here in the diagram. So it is asked that just tell us the composition of M. So I think you can now easily find, because for M you have to draw the line which gives to the composition of all 3 points. Like for example, just if you see M is located on this line, so this is for, these lines are for ethylene glycol and ethylene glycol, which means for M is 20%. Now 80% are other two component, and which will be like water and this other solvent. So for water, you know that water is 100% on this line, and these are lines for water 20%. So just M is very close to the 20%, 21, like it will be not 21 side, it is then 18. So more or less water is 18% on this. And the third one left over is either you can now you subtract these 18 and 20 from the 100%, or can also locate from here, like it will be for this solvent, it is up to this line is for 60%. So just above 60, it is around 61, 62%. So this is composition. So when you look at the data inside these kind of diagrams, when you are just below this miscibility curve, you are looking inside the miscibility curve, not whole triangle. I'm talking about this curve, miscibility curve. So there will be always two phases. Two phases will be existing, and we call them like raffinate and extract. While just above this curve, any point located above this curve, outside this curve, that indicates that there is only single phase. Always there will be single phase. Like single phase mean here, like all 3 components will be there, but they will be existing with each other as a single phase. It is not just separated into 2 phases, which we are calling extract and raffinate. So but just inside this, definitely they will be. So here it is shown to you, like this for your information, miscibility boundary curve, which we have just seen from the same diagram. So then there is like inside this, there will be 2 phase region, because we have just seen that on this side there was extract and the other side it was raffinate. So just above this, outside this curve there will be like only single phase. You can't say that it is raffinate, it is extract. That will be only one phase, and that will be called as a mixture. So something else you have also seen here, there were dotted lines which they mentioned as a tie lines. So how they are drawn are from where we get for these trying to draw these tie lines. We also have like data from experimentations. For example, for this specific diagram, tie lines data is given here. Like it is mutual equilibrium tie line data for solvent glycol water system at given temperature and pressure. And these tie lines, actually if you look at them, I will just tell about this again. So if you look at them, they are just being located or just joining 2 points, and those points are like you can see from here, starting from raffinate side, and they are ending on the extract side. So just you can see that they are joining raffinate and extract for any composition in between. So they are given like data is given for the solute when it is just separated or distributed between two phases like extract and raffinate. So this is data for that. So here data is given. For example, you have data for glycol in water, that will be the raffinate side, and glycol in sulfonyl, that will be the extract side. So for both of these, when you are given this data, so you can locate the points here as it is shown on this. By the way, these are only 2 points are given for, like one is for peripheral and other is for water layer, and they will be located on this boundary line. This is not like for that you need 3 points to locate those. For example, here when we have both of these are equal, and that point is this like point on which both distinction between both phases just vanish, and then it is converted to like one phase. Their concentration of the glycol is same in both of these. And when you look at the extract side, its concentration will be different, as well as on the raffinate side. So let's see, like for the others, for example, we have here peripheral concentration. Let's look at last point, 7.3% on the water side, and its value should be 2.75% on the glycol side. We will locate where it is located, like value of this glycol in the solvent. A solvent side is the extract side, and its value should be only 2.5%. So you know it is 100%, and the bottom it is 0%. So we will find definitely its value here 10%. So there will be some point here, yes, where it is located. For this line it is 2.5% almost. As I told you that how I'm locating these points on the miscibility curve. Due to this reason, I'm just looking for only the value or the data of ethylene glycol, and that we can locate here. It is 2.5% on this line. Ethylene glycol at this point will be 2.5%. What are the values of water and the other solvent is not a concern here to draw these lines. So on the other end, just you have to match it with the other side, which is the raffinate side. So on that, its value should be 7.3. As you know, along this here it was 10%. So just below that, somewhere on this curve, like miscibility curve, this will be a curve here it is ending. So it is like 7.3% almost here. So what we will do, just after locating these 2 points, we will join them with the dotted line. By the way, this will help us later on these tie lines to do some calculations. So due to this, we will have this data, and it should be able to locate inside the diagram. So each of these pair of these points which are given in this table, they indicate the composition of the equilibrium phases, that when they are in equilibrium, so what will be the value of the extract and raffinate in that specific. For example, one is containing 2.5%, so other than at that time will have 7.3%, and so on. Its value will be varying. So let's this is the same point already which was shown to you, how you have to locate, and plate point was that point where their composition is just reaching to the same point. For example, this is here for glycol, it is 41% in both of these. So if you locate here, this is the point where it is 41.5%. So there will be no tie line, it is just one point because it is same in both of these. So here there is another, just for your practice quickly. If you have a mixture of 20% ethylene glycol, 19% water, and 61% solvent shown as a point M in the diagram, which I have already told you when I asked you what is the composition of M. So this is actually the composition of M, which we have already talked about. That it was 20% ethylene glycol, water, and other solvent. So it's brought to the equilibrium, and the resulting composition of the equilibrium extract and raffinate phase are measured. So this, which was actually this composition is for the mixture when you mix your solvent with the feed. And like when we bring in liquid extraction equipment, you know that we just mix feed with the solvent, and then it is just separated into the extract and raffinate. So here, by looking or after drawing such kind of the diagram, we can find the composition of those phases, which we will obtain at the end of the day as extract and raffinate when we know the composition of the mixture. For example, here your mixture is located. So if you are asked to find the composition of the raffinate and the extract, how we can find? First of all, we have to locate the point M wherever it is inside the diagram, and then we have to draw a tie line which pass through the M. I mean this point given for the mixture for the feed, and you know that tie line, when it will be passing through M, on the other ends it is connected to the extract and the raffinate side. And wherever this line will be intersecting that binodal curve on the extract side as well as the raffinate side, then from there you can find the composition of extract and raffinate. So for example, here for the mixture, already M is located inside the diagram, and luckily it is located on one of the tie line which you already have in the diagram. If for example M was located in between somewhere, for example here, then we will draw a tie line just by looking at these two other tie lines, that our tie line should be located in between these two lines. So for example, M was located at that point, which I'm just put it here. So here we will draw a tie line which is just in between these two and will be intersecting or reaching to the raffinate side as well as on the extract side. But in this here, as M was already located on the tie line, so let's look what is the composition on the extract side and the raffinate side. See here M is, so we will just move along the tie line, go to the here R point, and on the other end here we will go to the extract point, E point. So on this extract point, just try to read the composition, because extract, this is partially miscible solvent system. So inside the diagram, as we know, when we will be talking about any of the point inside the triangle, it's mean we have to tell the composition of all three components involved in this system. So if you try to read it, E is already located on one of the line, and that is for ethylene glycol. So it's mean ethylene glycol here is 10% ethylene glycol, and other, like we have to find the water as well, other solvent. So other solvent is here 90%, then there is 80%, and because E is located somewhere here, we will draw a line for this, and that is mentioned here as 86%. 85 to 86 definitely will be the answer, and rest will be the water. So water should be here, like it is whatever it is, like here it is less than 10%, so definitely it will be 4 to 5%. So overall this sum should be 100%. Like if you take it as a 85%, then definitely water is 5%. For raffinate, let's see here what is the value for raffinate. Here R is located again on one of the line. This line, this is 40% is for ethylene glycol. Other, like when you look at these for water, water is up to here 50%, and then just after this it will be like, because other it is decreasing 40%, so it is just less than 50, around we can say 48%. So 40% is ethylene glycol, water is 48%, so rest is other component. So if we are taking it instead of 48, it is 49, then other will be like 11, or if you take 48, it will be 12%. So this is how you have to locate the compositions or the number. So then quickly we will solve this problem. Just we practice these same things, like if the diagram is given and you are given with the points, and and you have to locate and then quickly to find the values of raffinate and extract inside. So in this data here, I will just conclude the lecture after this example. So this is just overall, you can say, find the, when we will practice it, everything that we have discussed so far will be definitely applied and will be helpful for you to how you have to apply these kind of diagram and for what purpose we use. So determine equilibrium composition. For example, first of all, we have to find the equilibrium compositions and the amounts of extract and raffinate. What does this mean? It means when like these are in equilibrium, extract and raffinate, you have to find their composition, and as well as here amounts we have to find. In the last example which we have just seen, we just found the composition, but in this question, because this is of different nature, here you will also need to find the amounts. So let's find that. When a feed f of 100 gram, uh, feed amount is 100 gram and it is 45% ethylene glycol, 55% water. So that is conducted with 200 gram of the solvent, same solvent at 25 degrees C and 101 kilopascal. Using data in the figure like 4.13, that is the same figure which we have just seen. This figure, this is 4.13, like given data, that equilibrium data, so that we can draw this miscibility curve and tie lines and can solve it. So that is already given to us. So first, what we are supposed to find here is the equilibrium composition. It means we have to find the composition of extract and raffinate, as well later the amount of extract and raffinate. Feed amount is given as well as the amount of the solvent is given. They are 100 gram and 200 gram, and this is pure solvent. There is nothing else. So let's look at these, that how we can find. First of all, if I just go back to this diagram when I asked you to find the extract and raffinate composition. So what we supposed to know, what we should know is the composition of the mixture, that when you will mix your feed with the given solvent in the extractor, and that later they are just separated into two like raffinate and extract phases. So before that, what is composition of this mixture? So it means we have to locate point M inside the diagram, and when we have to locate the point M inside the diagram, later we will follow the same procedure. We will move along the tie line and will be able easily to find the extract and raffinate composition. So in order to find that, it means we first of all have to calculate the composition of M mixture. So can we find that composition? Hopefully we can. So let's look from where this mixture is formed. This is the data which is given to you, is just provided that what is given, like feed amount, solvent amount, as well as their composition are given, and then we have like find amount and composition of extract and raffinate. To solve this, I already told you that we have to find the composition of mixture, but before that, definitely we should be able to find the amount of mixture, whatever it is. So you know that mixture, from where we get it, mixture is formed when you will mix your feed with the solvent initially. So this, if we say that mixture, that its amount will be equal to the sum of the feed as well as the solvent. So when this 100 and 200 gram will just mix with each other, 300 gram of mixture will be obtained. And if we have to find the composition of mixture, that you can easily find, because you know the amount of each of the component in the individual streams. Now you can just use same data to find this, what will be the composition of the mixture. So because mixture is formed when we mix the feed with the solvent, and that feed contains 55% of the component A, 45% was the B. If you go back, just look, B is ethylene glycol, A is water. So here in this it is given 45% B and 55% A, and C is this 100% pure component. Its amount is 200 grams. So because feed consists of two components, so due to this we wrote that this is 55 gram of A, which is water, 45 gram of B, which is ethylene glycol, also have mentioned here, and it will be 200 gram of the C component. This is our mixture. So if you have to find a composition, that is pretty straightforward. Just to get the fraction or the percentage of the A in the mixture, amount of that component divided by total amount. So that A is here 55 gram and total amount in the mixture is 300 gram. So it is 0.183 or 18.3%. Similarly, P, that is 45 over 300, and the C, which is in the large amount, that is 200 over 300. So this sum should be definitely 100%, or the fraction should be equal to 1. So now when you know this composition of the mixture, you can go to that ternary diagram and can locate the these 3 points. One we are calling feed point, other is like solvent, and the mixture just on the diagram. So this is the same diagram which we have already seen. This there is blue line. This so first of all, let's look. We have to locate 3 points on this just for our information. Like one is the solvent, other is like feed, and the mixture point. So easiest one is the solvent, because solvent is 100%, and that is like that point will be at one of the edge, and at this edge this solvent is located, that is 100%. Feed, feed is the binary mixture, that is water and ethylene glycol. So it's mean it should lie on this water and ethylene glycol line, and that point was like that ethylene glycol was 45% and water was 55%. So these number are for ethylene glycol, and here when we will reach it is 45% for this. So similarly for water, this point is for 55% of the line. So it's mean this is the point where feed is located. These two are very easy to go with. One is just indicative of 1.100%, and this is binary mixture. But this mixture is consisting of 3 points, which we have just calculated, that when you will bring in contact feed and solvent, what will be the composition we have found. It means we have to locate that it should have water 18% here, because we calculated for A is for water, so 18%, and for ethylene glycol 15%, and for solvent it is 66.7%. So wherever these 3 lines of indicative of feed point will intersect, that will be the mixture point. So let's look. Ethylene glycol was 15%, that is most easy to locate here. Like you have 20%, 10%, so in between here there will be some line for 15% of this ethylene glycol. And then next this solvent was 66.7%, so here it is 70%. So and next line is for 60% of solvent, so line will just pass more or less from same point for 66.7%. And next the water, that was 18.3%, I think, yes, 18.3%. So this is 20%, next is 10%, so just below 20 here it will be more or less 18.7. so this we will draw, and they are intersecting more or less on the same point where already mixture point is located. So this M is located here. This what we did here to show you that this M point lies on that line which is connecting solvent and the feed, because from where M come, this mixture you get by mixing your feed and the solvent. So always remember guys, this mixture, wherever we will locate this point, it will always lie on the line which is connecting solvent and the feed. So after locating these points, if you just draw the diagram, you just connect the solvent with the feed, it will always be passing through this point, because this mixture is obtained from the feed and the solvent. So this one step we are done with this, that you have to locate those points on the diagram. Now we know already we have located these. After this, next point is definitely we have to find the composition. So in order to find the composition of extract and raffinate, you know that we have to draw a tie line which should pass through this mixture point, and it should like intersect the binoodal curve on 2 points, extract and the raffinate. So let's go there, and here it is already drawn it for you. So you can see here, this is the mixture point. Now in order to find the composition of extract and raffinate, this you have to draw a tie line which either should pass through this M, or if already some tie line is not passing through M, then you have to draw a tie line in between, because M will be definitely then located somewhere in between 2 other lines. So here this line is new red line which is drawn between the 2 tie lines. One is shown, other is just under this pillar. So that you will just intersect it on the other side with the binoodal curve or this miscibility curve. So here this is extract point because this is solvent rich side, another is just feed rich side, that is the raffinate point. When you have located these points, it is easy to read the composition as we have already done. So quickly read it. Like for extract side, if I look, ethanol is here 10%, so below 10%, so its value, its mean in extract will be like just around 8%, because this point is located below the 10% line, 8 to 9%. For this solvent, it will be just below 90, because this is 80 and 90, so here its value should be somewhere 87, rough estimation. And then for water, definitely it is around 4 to 5%. This is for extract. We will look at the exact values, I will show you. And then there is a raffinate. So for raffinate here, let's see what is the value of, first of all, this ethylene glycol. This is just above the 30 line, so it is around 34% more or less. And then there is like other component, which is water. So water here, its line will be passing, and this is for 60% water, this is 50%, so it will be like around 55 or 54%. And then the leftover is like third solvent, and because this is feed rich side, definitely solvent should be very less in amount, and that is like close to the 10%, or maybe like here, because it's 10%, so just less than 10%, maybe 9% or 8%. So let's look at exact values here for this. 4.8% water, already told you, around 5%, then 8.5% is ethylene glycol, we have seen that 8 to 9%, and then 87% is the like that other component. For the raffinate side, it is also like 56% water, we have already said this, like it should be 55% water, around 55, 56, and then there are like in ethylene glycol, and the solvent, he has taken 10%, so it should be 10 to 9% more. Up to here you have find the composition. The last part is to just find the amounts of extract and raffinate. So how we can find those amounts? Like we can write balances for these components. For example, for ethylene glycol, if I write the balance for ethylene glycol, it was 200 initially at the inlet, and then it is distributed between extract and raffinate. So if I know the exact amount of the raffinate, multiply by 87% of that is this component. From here I am looking at in extract, it is 87%, it has that solvent C, and in the raffinate side it is only 10% C, this you can see. So 200 is just distributed between these two with this equation. We can also apply either on the B or the C for any of those. So sorry, A or B. A was for water, and water was initially 55% at the inlet, 55 gram at the inlet, here we know, like, and then it is distributed between extract and raffinate as per this composition, 4.5%, and here it is like 56% in this case. So just solve these two equations simultaneously, and you will get the value of extract and raffinate. Just to solve these, what I did is multiply the equation of C, this one, with a factor of 5.6, and then I will just solve them and get the value of extract and raffinate. So that is extract overall amount will be 220.6 gram, and raffinate will be like 79.4 gram. So with this, we are just done with this. Kindly practice this problem just by solving again by yourself, and later also solve like a problem related to this. And this was section, as already I told you, these two lectures are from section 4.4 of your textbook. Now again, from the next lecture, we will go back to the chapter 8. There is one thing more here. This amounts which we have just found at the end by applying some balance in your book. When this example is solved, he has also mentioned some other method, and they are called, they call it like inverse lever rule. Inverse lever rule. So when you will go through its solution, you can find that. So I will advise you just check what inverse lever rule is and how you can find the these values are amounts of extract and raffinate. That is used actually to find amounts of extract and raffinate. So this ruler, which you have already seen here, with the help of this, they measure these values somewhere, and just can also quick do this calculation instead of going through this material balance. So just if you are interested, kindly go through that. Otherwise, you can apply the balance and then solve two equation. It will also not take much time. Thank you so much. So in these two lectures, overall, we have discussed the equilibrium for miscible and completely immiscible and partially miscible systems. And in this specific lecture, here we discuss those systems which are partially miscible. So I introduce you with this internally diagram, how we can draw those diagrams, how they're we can read the various values inside those diagrams, what is this miscibility curve, and how you have to locate the various points. For example, mixture point inside this, what is extract and raffinate side, and how you can find the composition of extract and raffinate by looking at such kind of diagram. So in order to definitely draw this miscibility boundary curve, you need equilibrium data, and when you will look at the unsolved problem in your book, usually data is given in the form of tables, as we have already seen one of the table related to this diagram. So guys, thank you so much, and because sorry for this, because it took a bit long, 10 minutes over, but I was supposed to finish this, because if next time I started from the scratch, definitely then it should also be difficult for you to catch with me, because now we were moving in the flow, and hopefully you got it. So if you have any question, just let me know. Thank you.